Hello and welcome to the Black Hole Podcast. I'm your host, Mitch Miller, and this is Season 3, entitled Technology Startup. Episode 4, I haven't checked in a while. It's been over a month, so I thought I would do a quick podcast to check in. And, so just a rundown of what I'm going to cover in the next 10 to 15, probably more like 15 minutes. Update on the business, the technology startup, Periscope. I released the domain name last time, the name of it. Then I am going to release an email that you can reach me at. I know I've directed you to my websites, but I've had some problems with my websites, and I'll go into that later. I'm going to release an email later in the podcast where you can contact me about anything on your mind. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about my mayoral race and end with my Utica B clothing line update. So let's get started. First of all, the Morocco deal fell through. Last time I explained I found a web developer out of Morocco who was going to help me build my landing page for the Periscope platform, which is the beginning of the technology startup company. I guess I'll just talk about Periscope a little bit. It's designed to bring transparency to elected officials. They can post a podcast of their activities. They can publish their schedule, including a description of each person they met with. So if they're meeting with lobbyists, they can disclose that and be transparent. And they can also post topics and subjects to be voted on by their constituents, help them guide them in their votes that they're elected to follow through with. So that's the platform. It's called Periscope. That's Perroscope. It's Perro, like Spanish for dog, and scope, something you watch through or inspect things through. So it's another. I'm trying to coin it as another name for watchdog in the lexicon. So the Morocco deal fell through. The web developer had personal issues and dropped out of that. It happens. It's difficult working with people in other countries because I think there's issues that arise. Maybe I shouldn't have disclosed the compensation package for him, but I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. So, you get what you get, I guess. I'll disclose my compensation. It's nothing for several years. I'm going to try to release this and take little to no compensation and just invest my money. I've already disclosed that I've saved $10,000 to invest into this project. So the search continued. This time I posted a Craigslist web developer job. Got a lot of responses. Again, a lot of people from outside of the United States. So I shied away from them. I saved their contacts though, and I took someone who responded pretty early. I connected with them. They're out of Cambria County, which is close to Pittsburgh. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. So it is possible to meet with this person in the flesh, in person, which is nice. We had a nice telephone conversation. He seems legitimate. I've looked over some of his work. He's done work in the past for state government and things of that nature. So I'm hoping it works out. He's put up a little bit of a landing page to begin with at perroscope.com, like I spelled before. It's got this PA state flag and a couple of the definition, summarized definition of what the platform's all about. And we're going to continue to develop this, hopefully have something by Election Day, November 2nd, that allows people to enter their zip code and vote and say, I want my elected officials to be transparent using this platform, and to collect email addresses so that I can update people on the progress of the platform. So phase one is that. It's just a simple website, a database. I can come in through the back end, check the data that's being collected, and then reach out to politicians and show them, hey, this many people in this zip code, which is in your district, want you to be transparent. So will you help support this platform? That's phase one, collecting zips and email addresses. Phase two, I've decided I want to roll it out because I said within the platform that on a county by county basis, people can vote on who's allowed to advertise on this platform. So why not start with a county first? So I'm thinking Allegheny County, since I'm kind of I live in Allegheny County. I'm running for mayor of Pittsburgh. So release this on a county, test run on Allegheny County, invest that money to roll it out in Allegheny County, allow county council to be part of the platform, allow city council, allow the mayor, and whoever that may be to use it to be transparent within the next year or so. So we'll roll that out and allow people to vote on who can advertise on the platform. And then I have some ideas of where we can expand in other counties and cities to really stay on brand with this thing. So that's a little taste of phase two, but I think the guy I'm working with, he's a WordPress guy, but he's looking into ways to verify addresses, ways to verify username, password, things of that nature, so that we can get this thing rolled out into phase two in the new year, hopefully. And so that's the progress of Periscope. I'm still looking for qualified people that can help with this person that I found and can coordinate and just kind of give insight. What is it going to be WordPress? Can we find everything through WordPress to build this thing? Or do we need some more technical knowledge of Java and things of that nature to really roll this thing out? So that's what I'm hoping. Still looking for people that want to join the team to bring this to fruition. And again, the goal is to start with government, start with elected officials, make them transparent first, then break that off and allow the government to facilitate that if they want, or continue to run it like a business, a for-profit business, because if it's for-profit, we can do it in other places. And and then also reach into the private sector, into the leadership of these corporations and things of that nature, and make them transparent as well. I think there's a market for it. I think there's a lot of boomers that are highly invested in these corporations that would sit and listen to a podcast by a CEO or another executive and make sure that the leadership of these companies that they're invested in are being transparent and they're not doing shady things behind closed doors, which has been happening for the past 40, 50 years. So I think there's a market for this, and I hope we're the platform to deliver it, perroscope.com. So, again, I want to be as transparent as possible so that people in other countries can develop a similar platform. And I've released some of my founding documents, and I plan on incorporating in the new year to start this company right. But right now we're going to work on the phase one, the landing page, and get that rolling. So check perroscope.com. I know Zelda. Zelda, my podcast producer, is telling me to speed up here because I got a lot to cover and I'm trying to keep it under 15 minutes. I know, Zelda. So on to the mayor race. Look, I think there's a black state politician in the race for mayor for the Democrats, and I think Pittsburgh needs its first black mayor. I'm not trying to get in the way of that, and I've written a whole press release where I say that and go into some of my history and background. I just want the next mayor to be transparent, to use this platform and be transparent like I would if I was elected mayor. So that's all I'm trying to say. I think we need historical to make history and have the first black mayor in Pittsburgh. I'm not against that. I just want them to be transparent. And I think from a political standpoint, if I was elected in that position, I could push more elected officials to join the platform, but essentially this mayor race, I put stickers on my car, and it's just basically a publicity stunt to promote the Periscope platform. That's what I'm really focused on, the technology startup, and I think I can create a lot of change with a technology startup that is somewhat lucrative and able to reach out into other ideas I have, which were expressed in my novel Femme Party as well. So that's where the mayor race is. I wrote a press release, and maybe I'll read that on here at some future point in time. I'm waiting for my call from Hollywood because I took the Femme Party novel and I uploaded it to a platform called Tailflick. It's supposed to get books that could easily be adapted to screenplays in front of Hollywood executives and producers. So we'll see if it gets optioned. Like I said, I'll use the money to start the technology startup, but I'm not holding my breath. But the ball's in their court now, Hollywood. The ball's in your court now. You can access this book through back channels in the Hollywood elite, and maybe it's being read over there right now. Who knows? Femme Party, I read it on season 2 of this podcast. If you want a free audio reading of the book, look back into Femme Party and listen to that. Finally, I'm going to end with the Utica B clothing line. So I've started an Etsy shop called Utica B, all one. It's Utica with B, no spaces. I have one shirt up there now. I'm going to put other shirts up, and I think I'm going to put up some of my paintings, to see if I can sell any of my paintings. If anybody thinks I'm worth any money, a schizophrenic artist, businessman that is trying to change the world for the better. Maybe his art will be worth some money someday. You can buy it off the Etsy shop, Utica B. So check that. I'm also getting on Amazon to sell shirts. I've been helping out at the Neon Grouse embroidery and screen printing shop in trade for a shop on his website. So you can go to Neon Grouse and find Utica B shop on there and order directly. The shirts are a little cheaper through that. And, that's always one of our sponsors, neongrouse.com. So a new clothing line that I have in mind. I'm going to release it in the new year. I'm stocking up now. We take polo shirts from thrift stores and recycle them. I figure if you're going to start a clothing line, and again, this clothing line is dedicated to creating an online platform where disabled people with physical disabilities can design their own clothes on the web platform and have them manufactured locally, hopefully eventually have them manufactured and look stylish, have stylish logos and designs to go with their designed clothes so that they look stylish and fashionable in their clothes that they designed. So that's why I'm developing these designs and t-shirt logos and designs. Some of them are funny, some of them are serious. Hoping to be in the fashion world at some point here with that clothing line. But the newest line that I'm going to release in the new year, once I've stocked up on these polos from thrift stores, is called Old Shirt. I figure I'll use the embroidery machines at the Neon Grouse for good, and it's just going to simply say Old Shirt in white or black thread on the left chest of the polos. But it's just ironic, and I have ideas where this clothing line can go under Utica B. But I want to, if I do further designs with polo shirts, we're going to use ethically sourced cotton and products that are expensive but ethically sourced. So what's more ethical than recycling old polos from thrift stores? So that's Old Shirt, and there's going to be a whole set of designs that we're going to make on new shirts that are ethically sourced. So they might be $40, $50 shirts, but they're worth the money, and the money goes to a good cause to help people with disabilities design their own clothes and make it easier to be fashionable, even if you're in a wheelchair or have a prosthetic or something like that. So, look, I'm part of the disabled community. A lot of people don't like to use that word, but I have a mental illness, and so that's where my heart is, and I'm trying to help that community as much as possible while making profitable businesses as well. So that's the old shirt design idea under the Utica B clothing line. We're getting over 15 minutes here, so I'm going to close, but thanks for listening to the podcast. Please like and share if you can. And again, if you want to invest, here is my direct email address is thenovelm@gmail.com. That's the novel, like a book, M, the letter M, at gmail.com. thenovelm.com. I had some problems. I finally joined a plan. I had pay-as-you-go track phone with my cell phone. I finally got a Cricket plan and a smartphone for my main line, and I have unlimited data, and the internet was working fine on everything else except for my plotm.com website and mitchformayor.com website. That's plot, the letter m.com, and Mitch, the number 4, mayor.com. Neither of those websites would work on my new iPhone from Cricket Wireless, so I didn't know who to call. Do I call Cricket and say, hey, your unlimited data isn't allowing me to access my websites? Do I call Apple and say your iPhone is not allowing me to access my websites? Or do I call GoDaddy, who hosts my websites, and say my websites aren't working on all devices? I'd probably get to run around. They just point the blame at each other and go around in circles. After about a week and a half, 2 weeks, they finally started working on my phone, on my smartphone, my iPhone. So that's up and running now. But it occurred to me, on this podcast, I've directed people to those websites, to the email platform or the email contact form, to contact me about investing, about advertising, things of that nature. And if they're not working everywhere, if they're being censored somewhere, or they're not working, then you need to have my email directly. So it's thenovelm@gmail.com. Eventually I'll have emails through the perroscope.com website. So stay tuned for one of those emails as well coming down the road. Thanks for listening. I know it got a little long. Thanks for hanging in there. It's been a while since I've updated, and I'll try to update sooner than later. But if we don't have a lot of progress, there's nothing to report. So I'll keep you posted. Check out the Etsy Utica B shop, and also on Amazon it'll be under Utica B, I believe, as well. If you want to charge a painting to your charge card or buy some shirts, they're not cheap, but they go to a good cause. So thanks for listening, and take care.